recording. That's a lot of bits. 2 million, over 2.5 million bits per second coming your way. This is stream number 57. I'm going to be doing some refactoring, cleaning up old code. Very necessary step. I'm going to start with deleting a function that's never used. We don't need it. If I actually do change my mind and I need it, I'll get it back from version control. Make sure that all the tests pass. And that we can run the GUI. GUI is where I'm going to focus most of my time today. All right, only 12 seconds. So I can click there. How come clicking there doesn't lead anywhere? Wait, what? Oh, I remember. Right, I'm looking at a different file. Yeah. There we go. And click on any byte and get back to what we have. Okay. Let's do some refactoring. Let's start with hex editor, because why not? So, couple things wrong, right? This is almost 700 lines long. It's a single file. The draw function is probably by far the biggest. Actually, maybe not. It's only 200 lines long. Draw. Ooh. Draw highlight part is long too. It's also 200 lines long. Okay. Wonder. This one looks really ugly. But at least it's not nested. There's just a lot of math involved. Hey there, TS Jost. Late night rhymey hype poggers. And hopefully pass. Hey, Drevisted. What's up is cleaning up code that looks really ugly. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of refactoring tonight. So I don't blame you if you don't want to stick around for this stream. I'm not sure I would want to watch this. The hex editor is not so bad, so it's maybe a good one to start with. But when we get to like indenting this many lines, that means we should probably be refactoring. Up is usually pointing the direction away from the body that's creating the overwhelming gravitational field in local space. Usually it is, yes. Okay, I'm just going to be scrolling around for a while because I'm looking for easy refactoring opportunities. Okay, there's an opportunity. If the bulk of this function is within the scroll area, then we could at least cut that right now, right? So let's see what happens if I select all of, actually it's not that many lines. How about if I select all of that and I tell it to refactor, what does it do? Function. Okay, we get a self, we get a UI, we get a row height, clip top, clip bottom, offset column width, care width. Clip top and bottom we got from a rectangle. So better would be just to pass that rectangle. So moving this in, moving this into here. And we get a rect from uh, from there, rectangle. Okay, what to name this? I guess this would be, because this other outer one was draw, right? This would be like draw. Draw scrollable area, draw main area, draw canvas, draw main area. There we go. That's what I'm gonna call it. Okay, why did it not rename it here? I don't know. This row height and character width, we can calculate that separately. So we don't need to pass it in. What's offset column width? Okay, that's also a constant that we can calculate. That's derived from character width. Okay, so I don't need that. Okay, then this rectangle is really the main area, right? Main area. Okay, cool. This is the header part, right? So how about we refactor that? And include that, I guess. Refactor function named draw headers. Header. Can I move that in? Well, if I move that into draw header, that would be just moving things around, and that wouldn't really do. But this is sort of a nice reusable piece, right? Because this is pretty generic. As in, we can make it generic for this, right? This would be like take the available space, allocate it, and draw it with a vertical scroll bar. Since this is the only place in the whole library where we'll see this, I think I'll just leave it where it is. But that pattern might be better named. If I had like a common, maybe if I had a common utility library for GUI widgets. I have a common utility library. But it doesn't have any dependencies right now. I'd rather not make it depend on eGUI. So I think I'll just leave that alone. Okay, now what do we do here? Is this still a needless range loop? No, but I do have some warnings. No, I have some errors. Oh, because I typed F in there. Can I remove that allow? Yes, I can remove it. Okay, great. Offset column width plus column times character width times 2 plus inner byte space. Columns greater than equal to row bytes over 2. Add another. Okay, I don't see anything that I could refactor out of that. So let's remove that blank line and just call it a day for draw header. So draw has a draw header, and then we have a draw main area. Okay, here's where where we get a lot of maybe opportunity to change things. So this is interpreting the response after drawing, right? And where do we get this response? From here. And this is to compute the output response, which is our own thing. Okay. Oh, this is messy. Oh, this is the scrolling stuff. Okay. Drawing the highlights. Drawing all the visible rows. This is drawing the offset column. This is updating the cache. Still need this allow? Yes. It's because I am using column. Oh, right, because the last line is shorter than row bytes. I think I do want to divide this up at least between the drawing part, which is all this, and the interpretation of the response, which is all of this. Okay, it does take canvas offset into account, which we calculate from there. Okay. Actually, if we subtracted the canvas offset from the position, that would make this simpler, wouldn't it? Because we're always just subtracting, right? So position is never used without subtracting canvas offset. Okay, then we don't need this canvas offset. If we pre-subtract it, that should be good enough. Hey, there's 715209. A lot of these have 0 falses. That's an optional bool. Yeah, I think at first I'm like, is there a way to do that with using a map? But I don't think there is. We do want to unwrap it and then, well, yeah. Okay, anyway, I removed the canvas offset from this because the whole point was, I think this position, I can just always subtract the canvas offset from it because I don't think I'm using it for any other purpose. So when we do this, I can just subtract canvas offset. And then I don't need to pass canvas offset. Simplify that. Okay, let's run that to make sure I didn't break anything. I think it's going to be a very slow stream because I'm not really doing anything exciting, but all necessary work, I think. So I should be testing like scrolling this guy. Okay. Scroll bar is hard for me to see. The color is like it's very, the scroll bar is very dark. That's just the default style for eGUI, right? Here it was. Where's an example of a scroll bar? Scrolling? That looks lighter than the scroll bar I have, but I don't think it is. I think it's just that the thumb or whatever you call it is just bigger here. Yeah. Okay. Just thinking maybe I should just alter the style and make that color a little bit lighter. All right, anyway. Wait, hold on. This takes offset, canvas offset, offset start, canvas. Is this another thing where we're always just subtracting the canvas offset? No, they were adding. So it's the opposite. Adding it. But do we need to add it? Do I need to add it only to subtract it later? No. So I could pre-add it, right? This offset. No, no. We don't want to pre-add it. We want to post-add it. Always adding after the fact. So this one, maybe it makes sense to pass on the canvas offset. So the post-add is done in one spot. But you know what I could do is I could just add canvas offset and remove the individual adds here. Okay. Draw hex version. Draw ASCII. version. Let's refactor that. I don't want an inline macro. Really? There's no quick help for that? ASCII byte rendering. Interpret byte as ASCII. There. Oh wait, I subtracted the canvas offset to that one, but not this one. Yeah, that we have to do on both. And this is the same, right? Only this should be dragged. So I could pull this out as an option first, right? And just do a map. Try that again. Map. Not pot. Pause. So it's an option, right? And so this could be just pause equals pause expect. There. Okay, I think I do want to pull this out as another function. Oh, but not including the position. Refactor function. I mean, I said function, but what I meant to say was canvas offset. Why do I need the UI? Why do I need that UI? Text width and height. Okay, fine. This is like interpret response. Okay. This stuff kind of stands on its own, right? The actual drawing. Although it's got a lot of stuff in it. If I refactor, this is going to be a lot of junk. Let's see how much junk. Clip top, canvas offset, row height, clip bottom, total rows, UI column, offset column. A lot of these we could compute on our own. So maybe it's not so bad. This is draw data. Draw bytes. Okay. So I can get rid of some of this stuff. Because like this we can recompute here. So not only the row height, column width, or offset column width, or char width. So get rid of canvas, no, get rid of row height, offset column width, and char width. Okay. This clip top and bottom, we can also compute separately, right? As the main area, top and bottom. So we'll get rid of clip top and bottom and just copy these lines into here. Get rid of clip top, clip bottom. Total rows. That does affect the canvas size, so we'll keep that. Okay. We can get rid of some of these things, right? We don't need, still need clip top for some reason. No char width. Clip top is used to align the canvas offset. The only thing it's used for. So why don't we just fill that in? We don't need to give it a name. Canvas size. Okay. This total rows. Okay. Trying to separate the parts that are used locally and parts that aren't used locally. Okay, so then we can just say what this does. This is callow, allo, Kate. So this is inside of vertical scroll bar, right? Yes. So allocate a virtual canvas. The size of the main drawing area, but extended vertically to fit all of the data. Fit all of the rows needed to draw the data. Okay. How did this work? Subtracting from the canvas offset Y. This just moves everything up or down. I get the direction confused here. It's moving everything. All subsequent calculations are moved up or down to align it to a row, right? We're just removing the we're just snapping. So I guess maybe just say snap rows to the nearest. Well, it's really snap vertical scrolling to the nearest row. Okay, this we can refactor out. Yeah, and this is like apply scroll to. So what we have is we have a scroll to that's set before we draw, and then when we draw, if there's something in there, so if we take it out and if it's something, then we're scrolling the UI to that. Uh, that row height though can be calculated from the UI, so we're not going to pass it in. We'll just get it again. Scroll to, so I don't need the row height. Apply any pending change. Apply any pending to change to the scroll position. Draw any configured highlights. Draw all visible data. And this is interpret any interaction in the, well, it's in the main area, right? This response here comes from here, where we got the inner rectangle. Main area. Okay, this is nice and refactored now. Draw on main area. I like it. This, the difference here is start and end, and we're either subtracting or adding two rows, right? This is so that it does, when we scroll to a position, it doesn't just keep at the very top or the very bottom, but it had some kind of fudge factor. Okay, I think that's fine. Draw bytes. This could be fixed if I take this and take a minimum, right? Except that it'll all be off by one because we go inclusive and we break out if we get equal to total rows. So it's kind of like I want to take this, add one, then take the minimum of that and total rows, and then subtract one. And then I could remove this. Or I could just add one to this, take the minimum with total rows, and then go up to, but not including. That might be better. So let's do, we won't call it last visible row anymore, though. It'll be like row after last visible row. And we'd want to add one and take total rows minimum, then I can remove that. Let's make sure this actually works. So we just don't want it to continue to draw rows for any data that doesn't exist. And it's going to be hard here. I need to actually open a data file that's small. Doesn't really matter. What if we just take this? Too big. I need a really small file. How about the cargo toml in ingestion or something like that? Yeah, see? So then it doesn't draw past the end there. Okay. So this is draw offset column. What are we doing today? We're doing refactoring. Why don't I update the today command that we never use? Is cleaning up a lot of ugly, unreadable code today so that it can be read and understood far into the future. So we have like some major aspirations here. We want our code to be readable by future Raimu without a whole lot of suffering. I kind of feel like a lot of functions are doing this, and we should do it in like one spot, and then like borrow that object around everywhere. Maybe combine it with the UI. Only problem is sometimes we take a UI and then we use it to construct a new UI, right? Like, was it right around in the where the scroll bar was? Where was that? Right here. So we started with the UI and we used it in show to generate a new UI. So this UI is not the same as that UI. Otherwise, I could have like done all this pre-calculation, combined it with the UI, and then put it into an object that we then borrow everywhere. Just can't do it with the UI. Okay. Draw offset column. What are we doing here? This is I'm already thinking I should refactor this. This is updating the cache. So um, get the bytes to display either from the cache. Well, get the bytes to display through the cache. If not already in the cache, pull it from the bitstream. Yes, let us refactor this. Get data row. I like that. So I don't know why we need this though. Can't we just return? Can I just return a slice? Why do I have to make it a fixed slice? Can I just return a slice? It just wasn't smart enough to do that for me. Cache line length. Yeah. This is going to extend a borrow of self, though. Am I going to run into trouble with that? Cache line equal get row. All right, so that's just cache line dot length, and then maybe it is a needless range loop. Yeah, and okay, so we do have a problem with the self being multi-borrowed. So is that because it's being borrowed mutably? Do we need a mutable borrow here? Is that mutable? It is mutable. Ah, well, what if the only thing I need self for are bitstream length, bitstream cache, and bitstream, right? Ah, well, how inconvenient. It would have been nice to do that and get it borrowed out. I guess I don't want to have to clone the data though. That just seems wrong to me. It's just it doesn't see that it's really getting a borrow from a partial borrow of self. It just sees from this point of view that it's borrowing all of self. Not only borrowing it, but borrowing it mutably. What a pity. Oh, but I think I see a trick. What if we clone the font first? If I do that, and then self font clone just becomes font, I guess I have to clone the font again. This clone should be cheap because a font ID is just a size in a font family. This thing requires that it own the font anyway, right? Yeah, I think because of the convention that text owns a font ID, we're going to be constantly cloning it, that it's okay to have that extra clone up here. And now I can use my nice cache line borrow because now we don't need self anymore. This is just the price. Is that so? What do I say here? Extract the font to be. I need to slow down on my typing. Extract the font to be used to draw byte. Draw bytes. Do this now because get. I already feel like this is the wrong thing to do to document it this way because like I shouldn't have to copy that there. I should be using more general words. And if I have to describe in words here what I'm doing, then it might not, it doesn't feel like I'm doing this right. I feel like a better way would be a visitor pattern where it should say like with data row, and then you will get self along with a slice. And then actually we can't pass self in, can we? But it could get a font. But then it's not just getting the data row, it's getting the data row with font. I got a better idea. Um, maybe I don't have a better idea. It comes from this, right? That getter insert borrows from self. Wait, but this, hold on. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say like it doesn't actually borrow, but it does. It's the or insert. We have to actually make one to be inserted. Otherwise, we're not making any copies. We're just borrowing data, and that's the important thing. That's to make it faster, right? That's the whole point of having the cache in the first place, is to make it, is to not copy, to not read or copy. So I think I either have to extend the borrow, or it has to be visitor pattern. And if I were to turn this to a with data row, how would it work? It would borrow from self bitstream cache. So I wouldn't be able to pass all of self into the visitor. So it really doesn't gain me much, does it? Unless, like I say, unless we make it so that it's like with data row and font, and then we don't need self at all. We just needed it for that. It would be nice to make a visitor pattern, because then I don't have to have two separate paragraphs here with this saying like, I don't know what we're going to do with this cache line. We're going to do something. And how do I use this? Column is used heavily, so well, let me at least do that part. This range 4, right? It's better said with cache line dot into iter enumerate for column and byte, right? Okay, I mean, that's just going to add another, oh no, I guess it doesn't do anything. I was thinking it was going to add another reference if I did an iter, but I guess it doesn't. So this is like calculating positions, right? Well, then I don't need to do these in separate places. I can just move it to where it's actually needed. And this goes to here. Okay. I do want to say why I'm getting the font out. Extract the font to be used in used to draw bytes, because once we borrow the data row to draw, we won't be able to borrow anything else from self. There we go. Draw the bytes. Draw the bytes. Okay. I think this is good enough. Although there's a lot of math here. I'd like to maybe see, can this be simplified, or do I need to comment for it? This is really giving names to the two parts of the range. What about this? I don't actually use those inside, so why don't I just substitute those in here? Okay, the only place I use offset column width is when I'm drawing the hex version. Okay. Oh, you know what I could do? Uh, that could just be a constant because here, if I don't multiply by character width, right, then I would just put parentheses around this, and now it's multiplied by the character width. Then this ought to just be its own constant, and then I don't need to have that symbol there. In fact, I could use it in two places. So that's even better. So this is so the ASCII column offset is the hex column offset. And then that goes here. In fact, we should look for this if this is used anywhere else. Aha. So it's used in draw header. It's already used here. So this, if I delete this, then here becomes hex column offset. Okay, and right. So here's another opportunity to maybe fix something, right? Yeah, so here again, I don't need to multiply if I put parentheses around it, like so. And then I don't need this constant at all because I don't need that variable at all because that is a constant now called hex column offset. All right, cool, I like it. So any other places where I could use that? Yes, so hold on. Hold, I say. So this whole thing in parentheses is replaced by that. And yeah, it's just that. So I delete this one, put that in there. Okay, I've made a lot of changes, so let me run it, make sure I didn't break anything. It's important to do this. Occasionally. Oh, and I broke something. So where it's drawing the ASCII bytes is correct, but where I'm drawing the hex digits is incorrect. Okay, so I did some math problem where we're drawing the drawing the main area, drawing the bytes. So this was drawn in the correct position, and this is not. Let's column. Oh, is it because I did I add the canvas offset twice? No, that's not it. Oh, this has to be multiplied by this first. Yeah, just like that. So this goes into here like that. There we go. Then it actually looks the same. It looks the same as that. Actually, except for the add is in the wrong spot. So if I really wanted to make it look the same, I would move this add to here. All right, now it looks the same or similar. Cool. Stage lull. Make sure it's actually drawing. The highlights are correct now. Okay. Still not broken. Okay. Getting better. Looking good, I know. Looking better. That's the whole point of today. That's the whole point. I think I'm pretty much done with the hex editor, right? Even that like highlight part isn't too bad. There's just a lot of math involved. Poggers. Catoli. Vincent Dealencar, hi. Finish figuring out this mess and coming or fixing it. Yeah, because it doesn't say like which parts are being drawn by which loops and ifs and elses and stuff. Ew, what the heck is that? I'm looking for common parts, but maybe the 2 plus inner byte space? That's like a byte width. And if we're multiplying, then there's no real reason to have like these extra parentheses, right? And then this is used in a couple places, so I could pre-compute that. It makes it a little bit nicer. So what if I just pull that out? So let hex width equals 2 plus inner byte space times character width. And then hex width is what we use in place of this in 3 places, at least. Maybe 4. Paste. Okay, and then where we have hex width in parentheses, we don't need the parentheses. Okay, that's better. It is a very large file, but it's as long as it's not over 800. If it gets that big, I split up the methods into different files. Yeah, well, what that 800 line file is doing is drawing all of the hex editor and handling all of the interactions with it. So it is quite a bit. So it handles drawing this, it handles the scrolling part, the highlights that you see. When we click on something, it has to scroll to it. So if I click on the trailer, it has to scroll all the way to the bottom. Click in the header, scrolls to the top. So all that mess, it's done in about 750 lines. I think I'm not going to really touch the draw highlight part today. Yeah, it's this stuff. Can I make this simpler? Do I need an X if I just have position X? Can I like just get rid of X? I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? Because I can't just do search replace on X because X is everywhere. I'd be changing the X in hex. There are a lot of these zero falses, aren't there? And they're all in these elses. I'm just wondering if there's a clever way to reduce those. It's because, you know why? It's because I'm mixing, if we're calculating within the hex part or the ASCII part. And we're getting two answers out. We're getting which offset and whether or not it's in the hex part. So if it's in the hex part, true. If it's in the ASCII part, false. This 1 times enter ASCII space. Is it only in one spot? No, it's in two spots. So this, again, I could take that out because I have hex width, and then I have ASCII width. And I can make it kind of look like the other one, like this. So ASCII width is wherever we have the in. So right here, that's ASCII width. And right here, ASCII width. That almost looked like that, only different column. Okay, there's a calculation here done twice. So this is a hex half column size. Hex half column width. Bytes plus offset. I'm just looking for redundant calculations at this point. I think I've thrashed that one to death. How about the next function? Can't we just combine this? I think we can just combine it. And this X here, right? Does it look better to multiply by character width there or there? I think it actually might look better there because otherwise I might miss it at the end of the if else. I don't like constructs like that. I wish there was the ternary operator because that's what this really is doing. It's like let extra column space equal column less than row bytes over 2 question mark 0 colon enter column space. Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna do with that one. Almost done with the hex editor for today. So these might take multiple rounds of refactoring to make nice. As long as I don't break anything functionally or appearance-wise here, I'll be fine with it. Cool. Seems to be working. I'm wondering if like I should make two more constants, one which is that plus 2 and the other one's that times 0.5, because wherever we see this interbyte space, it's always either multiplied by 0.5 or it's added to 2. It makes me think that there really should be two constants. The collapsing thing turned out good. Oh yeah, did you not see that before? So it looks nicer when I make the column appropriately wide, although it kind of stretched out for this application extension because there's a lot of words there. But yeah, like you can see at a glance that that's a special purpose block, and these are all graphic control blocks, which is nice. Oh, and I was wrong on one of the previous streams. I said that all of these um, images don't have local color tables, but it turns out that it's just the first image in the GIF doesn't have a local color table. I like was looking through, I'm like, oh, there's a local color table. And then I'm like, oh, look, there's another one. And every single image after the first has a local color table, which I think is odd. I think what they did is they have this global color table, and it only is used for the very first image here. And then after that, they have a local color table for every subsequent image. So this could have had just a local color table for the first image, and we don't need to have a global color table. That might have been just something that the GIF, the tool that was made to make this GIF, some decision that it made. Because really just the same. It's, do you put the color table up here, or do you put it in right before the image, right? I also think it's interesting that in a GIF, you can have, there's a logical screen descriptor that has a width height, and then each image has its individually a width and height. And that reminds me of something that they had in Discord for a while, where they had an image, a GIF image, where every image was actually a different height, and it would actually mess with the layout in Discord. That stream you saw it started, but never saw completed until now. Yeah, it's pretty dang cool, don't you think? The structure, the levels that are structural only have been collapsed. I think it took me a while to figure that out too, but yeah, see, like we don't see a separate row for aspect ratio with no value and encoding with 0. Yep, pretty neat. And you can still open this up and see how we got the LSB and the MSB in separate bytes. Okay. I'm thinking that we only ever use inner byte space to add to or divide by 2. And where am I dividing by 2 again? Oh, it's the extra space. It's the extra space between this column. That's half. I'm adding a half space here. And I think here, but I'm not sure, and also here. I'm adding a half space. So let's give that a name. The only downside would be if maybe where I'm adding that half space. Yeah, these two happen to be 0.5, but they don't necessarily need to be 0.5. They could be separate. This is really the separation between the two hex columns. This is the separation between the hex columns and the ASCII column. Oh, and this 0.5, okay, I had that wrong. Sorry. It's a full intercolumn space. Intercolumn space is 3/4 of a space. Okay, I was wrong about that. I was completely wrong. So we already have a constant for intercolumn space. So this 0.5, I'm not exactly sure about, but this one where we're subtracting 0.5, that's so that the we can select slightly to the left of the column and actually have it select that column. But that should mean that we're adding 0.5 somewhere else. I think it's this. No. Wouldn't we want to add half a column space to the right? Or inner byte space to the right? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, I think I might be done with this for a while. I'll leave it as it is. There are some like constants here that maybe I should try to figure out, but it's only so much that you can look at ugly code and try to make it nicer before you take a break. I think I'm going to take a break on hex editor. So the next one is the data tree, which is the guy on the right here. The drawing it, the expanding, the column resizing, the highlighting, all that stuff. So that's data tree. This one needs even more work. It's already too long. It's 900 lines. And it's a mix of drawing code and the iterator. So maybe one thing to start with would be to pull the iterator out because it's not that long. It's not terrible. It's line 875 down to 930. 60 lines. I think I'll do it though. So we'll make a directory called we're going to call this rows. So we'll have mod rows, and then we're going to have like a pub use rows. And then I'm going to pull all of the stuff for rows out right here. That should have been a file called rows.rs, not a directory. Paste. Okay, so gotta import. Actually, I don't need to import the crate. This should be super, right? Okay. All right, so we have data tree, we have some helpers for text, height, pixel, alignment. Clicking on rows, visit visible children, visit root rows, root row. Okay, we got this monstrosity, which is the draw. Okay. Before I go into the draw, can I clean up some of these other things maybe? What's wrong with collapse row? Why is it collapsed? I think it looks fine. Wonder why I had it collapsed. Add row. Add column, remove all rows. I don't know why I had these collapsed. Dragging state. Well, that should be a submodule. We don't even need to export that. So mod dragging state. Here we go. We're taking it. We're taking you for a ride. And paste. This has to be public. Grab margin is imported from super. Actually, maybe. Is this used elsewhere? It is. I don't see it because it's scrolled to the right. There it is. Used a bunch of places. So it stays in super. Super margin. Okay, so we must import that. Okay. So once again, I'm hiding all the draw stuff because it's huge. That's going to be a main thing, right? The main thing to refactor. But I'm hitting all the easy things first. So there's column, there's row, there's response, there's row token. Rows is a first class type. Right. Okay. Looking for low-hanging fruit. Looking for easy things to refactor. I don't see anything. It's a long name. It is what it is. I could just say if not expanded, continue, and then outdent that, but that doesn't really save much. Wait. I'm getting a token only to immediately pattern match the token. I think it's just to make it easier to read. Because otherwise it would just be self visit visible rows and then dot and then this would be instead of token, right? And selected row is a side effect, set by side effect inside of the visitor. Still doing GIF? What do you mean doing GIF, Tinspin? Right now I'm refactoring here. What does the today command say? Cleaning up a lot of ugly code. So this has nothing to do with GIF. If you mean like when I'm testing, am I testing with GIF? Yes, but only for convenience. Maybe you're asking because you're wondering when I'll get to some other format. I want to have the tool actually functional and refactored before I start to take on more. So the fact that we're using GIF is really immaterial to me. It's just a vehicle for testing the tool. The tool is what I'm working on. I'm not working on GIF. But you probably, maybe you're hoping that the stream also gets into other formats. Just remember that that's sort of a side, it's a side effect of the work I'm doing, is that I'll be hitting other formats, right? But the goal, it's sort of, it's not exactly aligned with what I want. What I want is to get the tool better, not to get in a whole bunch of different formats. So hopefully that doesn't. I don't want to disappoint. You know, I don't want you to be expecting that a point that a goal of the stream is to hit different formats, because it's not really. It's to get this tool working. Hitting different formats might be a way to make the tool better. So this is, I think that's okay. That stuff's okay. So really, we're going to go into the draw stuff, right? Unless if I can group these into like different categories and then separate them, maybe. Maybe because like the visiting, well, the visiting uses a UI, right? Actually, now that I think about it, do we need to pass the UI in if it's just forwarded? Why can't the visitor capture that? You know? Yeah, why not? Why must I pass in the UI? Why can it not be captured? Let's explore that, because this list of arguments here is rather long, and if this is simply carried in, right? If maybe in this inner one we can, yeah. See, it's only used because the visitor needs it, but the visitor could just capture it against it, right? So what if I just remove it? It just captures it and then I don't pass it in, right? And then do the same thing here. So it just doesn't get it like that, right? Yeah, so we just don't do that. In fact, that should have been a sign that I didn't need it sometimes, right? Delete that. Yeah, I think this is the right thing to do. This whole thing is inside of a visitor that we don't need to be redundantly passing the UI into. Yeah, cool. So this is the goal of refactoring, finding these spots. So anything that that the host doesn't need, that only the visitor needs, we don't have to pass it as a parameter. And that actually that was the only one. So so it's just the self and our visitor. And that needs to be mutable because the the visitor is allowed to change itself, right? All right. What next? We visit something and then we visit its children. Correct. How is that different from, oh, because the root rows is different. Root row, there's no level, it's 0. And it's level +1 instead of 1. And parent row children instead of self root. Okay. Those do have to be different. Now, did I have another visit? No, I didn't. I'm really tempted to move these visitors to like another place. Like visitors. Let's do it. So visitors. They're part of data tree though, right? That's fine. That's fine. They'll just have to be in an impl for data tree. So I pull them out. I go into visitors and I do impl data tree. And then I paste. Public. Actually, these don't need to be public, right? I have to do a mod visitors. Hold on. Why can it not find it? super data tree. Hold on. Well, let's fix all of these together. Super. Okay, so it does need to be marked public from this level, right? But it only needs to be public for the crate. Because of the weird way that I have it in a submodule, but and at the lib level we do a pub on the whole data tree. It's public. So if I didn't mark crate, then you could call this from outside the crate. So yeah. So I guess this is only used by this other one, so we can stay where it is. All right. Make sure I didn't break anything. Header, expanding. We're looking good. Big refactor for readability be to extract all the constants in math to another module. I do have a lot of constants. Need more constants, you think? Hex editor had a lot of constants too. It's got a bunch. Maybe not enough though. Maybe not all the constants. I'll keep that in mind as we go through like some of the math. If more of it needs to be put into constants. Need to hide the constants? Hide them from who though? They're already hidden from they're not public, so they're already hidden in a sense. If you mean hide from like if you're casually looking at the library, then maybe I'd have a module called constants. Yeah, they are encapsulated. They're private constants right now. Right? They have to be marked public to not be encapsulated. So I think we're good there. That little dog just walked by to see what I was doing. Do you need to go outside? If I hear a tap or a little woof, that means I'm gonna have to get up and open the door for the dog. Draw. I'm avoiding going too deeply into draw, but maybe it's time to do that now. Click on rows. Called from draw. Okay. Font row, select row, collapse row. So what I'm thinking is that we should take draw and on click in rows and put them into a draw module. Because everything else is like not draw related. Draw. Impl data tree. Just take out the message draw into its own file. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. They would be private on the new module that exposes functions with the math related to it. Oh, you're saying not just the values of the constants, but how I use those constants in mathematical expressions. Yeah. I'll consider that. Definitely consider that while I go through this. So here we are. These guys. Yoink. That didn't yoink it correctly. Hold on. Did I bungle that? I think I did bungle that. Let's try again. Without... Actually, I guess I can collapse draw, but just don't collapse on click and rows. Because it's selecting all of that. There we go. That looks good. And then paste there. Save here. Look at all these constants we don't need. or imports, which is a good idea. We want our top level API to be like, we're not needing a whole lot of things. In fact, optimally, we wouldn't have any of it. Ambiguous. Pixel line. Did we use pixel line anywhere else? No. In fact, I think we didn't use text height either. So these really are accessories to the drawing. Let's put them at the bottom. Okay. Position 2, rectangle, rounding, and color 32, and stroke. Here's the thing, I could pull some of these constants down into the drawing code. Maybe they actually all should go into the drawing code. They're all drawing related. Grab margin. Oh, grab margin is in the drawing code. These are all in drawing code? Okay, then they're all going. They're all going into draw. Part of me, though, thinks that it's nice to, like, put them at the top level because they're easy to find, but if they're drawing specific, I guess they should go there, right? That's fine, I guess. Whoops. My cursor betrayed me. It did a double scroll instead of a single scroll. Okay, that was a lot of uses. And these should all be super. Actually, this one should be... What? It thinks I'm holding down shift or something. Come on. There we go. So... that should stay crate, but this should be super, I think. Although I think I'm getting nitpicky when I do this. I'm thinking if I ever move data tree to somewhere else, these strictly go with data tree, where draw is a submodule of data tree, but this is separate. Or is it? Actually, it's not. Super it is. Oh, okay, we share this. So this grab margin is one constant we do want at the top level. It's a shared constant. Okay. Hey, look, even more things we don't need here. Why do I still need font family? Because that's part of new. Font ID. Part of the API. Okay. Broke something. Grab margin used from super, not crate. Okay. Did I break anything? I did not break a single thing. Although having to double click these, that's a bug I need to get to. Doesn't show up now. So the bug is if I collapse these and then I click somewhere, see how it didn't scroll to it? If I click it again, it scrolls to it. Because it's scrolling before it knows where it is. Because it has to render at least one more time before it knows to scroll to it. Actually, I think there's a way to fix that. I think what we can do is we can just see, has it been expanded or not? Visible. Hold on. If no, it's not that we don't know where Y is. It's that we don't know what the correct canvas size is. So this the scroll to that we do, or this scroll to rect doesn't actually work until after we've laid it out. So I need to like delay it by 1 frame, really. Okay, I don't know how to do that. I'll punt that to do later. Okay, get a row height. Do I want to do the same thing I did in hex editor where I like take everything in this vertical and put it into a draw main area? I think so. Oh, we didn't use the top level response because we just ended up using internal responses. This whole thing returns an inner, which is doesn't say it, but it's a result inside of here, whatever we return, which is a result, right? Response. It's this thing. You know, something random. I was looking at my YouTube channel this morning, and I happened to see how many subs I have, and it was 6969, and I thought, what an interesting number that is. Part of me was like, I hope no one else subscribes so I can just stay at 6969. But that's pretty much impossible. So, in the hex editor, didn't I put that into a different place? DS Joss, come on. And it was draw main area, right? Oh, it returned a response. Okay, when I refactored it out, I refactored it out as an interpret response. Okay, so maybe do the same thing here. Or here, I mean. So I'm pulling this out as like draw main area, right? So let's do it. All of this, you all get to go with us to draw main area. Refactor function. Okay, not too bad. Some of these things we'll just recalculate. Draw main area. Save. Okay, so this clip top and clip bottom is just this clipping rectangle, which is really just main area, right? So this should be main area. And then what I'll do is I'll cut that and paste it here and call this one main area and call that one, make that a rectangle. Oh, actually I already had a main area. That's this one. Yes, delete, delete. Let's cut that one and paste it there. So main area goes after UI. Okay, row height we can recalculate from the font. So that can just be done there. I don't need to pass it in. Where do we get num columns from? Okay, that, again, I can recalculate that. So I don't need to pass that in. Cool. Looking better already. The draw. So this is all just the header stuff, right? So why don't I just reduce this down to header? Yeah, all of this. This is just draw header. Right click. Refactor into function. Draw header. What's this F32 it's returning? Row height? We don't need that. I'll simply copy this and paste it up here. And we don't need to do a let because it doesn't need to return anything. So I delete that. Okay. Okay, I should just move this here. In fact, do that maybe. So I was gonna write a comment that said draw the header, but I'm like, it already says draw a header. Draw the main area inside a virtual canvas whose size is determined by the width of the available area and the number of visible rows. Clip, we'll place it. Let's just say comma placed inside the available, placed and clipped inside the available area. There we go. So that explains what we're doing here. We're getting the available size. We're getting the height of a row. We're rounding down the requested size to the nearest multiple of a row height, and then one less than that. And then we're allocating that exact size. We're ignoring the response because we handle the responses internally. I should probably say that. Ignore overall interactions since there are different interaction handlers inside the main area. That's why we're ignoring the outer response. So we're clipping to it, like I said, and then we're getting a child UI. Did I do that for the hex editor? Did I make a child UI? Yeah. Yeah, so this child UI thing, it's because once you allocate space, then anything that you make after that, like if you do draw vertical or scroll array vertical, it goes beyond the allocated space. So you're really supposed to allocate size and then do a child UI inside of that area that you got. So then, at least that's how it's been working for me. Maybe there's a better way to do it. Then it makes a scrollable, vertically scrollable area and shows the main area inside of that. Right, and then the fact that we're doing this inner to generate the response, that's part of this. We handle interactions inside the main area. We ignore the overall. Okay, good. So draw is done. So draw the header, then draw the main area. Then in draw header, we don't need this anymore because it's not a range loop, right? Here we could change the cursor for hovering over a draggable thing such as, so we're already doing that. That's an old to do. That's old as well. So a lot of this is just checking what the cursor should be, right? Oh, and also actually performing the dragging of the divider between columns. Right here, changing the width. But then none of this is drawing, right? Where's the drawing part? So this is the drawing part. So this is more than just draw header. Then draw and interact with header. This part is the draw header. Let's extract. Let me extract out the second part because I think it makes it easier. Yeah, this is the interaction part, right? And it gets the response, so that makes sense. So this is a refactor function. This is a interact with header. Firefox crashed as per usual, but it did some time traveling, and now I'm curious, what is this supposed to be used for later? I'm doing it for fun, but mainly it's so that if I ever need to parse some bytes, that I can write how to parse it and use the tool to do that. So although I'm using GIF as an example, like let's say in the future I'm working on a game and I have a save game file and I have some bug with it, I would describe how to parse my save game files and then I'd use this tool to debug it. The other one I've been telling everyone is that let's say I want to make my own Wireshark. I could do that pretty easily. All I would really need is something to capture the packets and get them in a file or memory. And then I would just have format for every single kind of packet I'm interested in. In fact, that might be an interesting thing to do on stream is grab network traffic between this virtual machine and like a website and like actually show it in the tool. Because I had that for actually it wasn't for promiscuous packet capture. It was for TCP, a TCP socket. But I had it in here. It was a bitstream network connection. So you could give it like a port number, I think, and it would every time it got bytes from a network from that network connection, it would parse it. I think that's how it worked, right? Oh, I think it was blocking. Yeah, so it blocked on read. Or maybe not, because this looks like it's asynchronous. Like there's a callback. Oh, I guess if you don't have the bytes ready, it would just return less bytes. Yeah, I think that was it. Anyway, wait, what happened to my other? Did I close my other tab? I must have. Um, I could use this to read data traffic off of network card. Capturing is a troublesome part of the network, so I'd probably use an existing crate. I bet you there is one. Let's find it. So we go to libs and we say like packet. Let's try that again. Network packet capture. There we go. PCAP. PCAP is what Wireshark uses. Live net flow capture tool. Oh, this is a tool. Okay. What I need is what library it uses. Would it be PCAP? Here we go. Packet capture API. So this would suit. If not a pure Rust implementation, we could use, you could just use PCAP, right? I don't like it when there's no example. There's no example here. They just say, here's how you use it. But I could make my own Wireshark. The combination of PCAP and just writing the format for all the different packet types I care about. I somehow managed to close all my tabs, and I don't know how I did that. Unless I'm not in a second instance of VS Code, am I? No. All right, anyway, we didn't lose any information. So interact with header. Right, there is no return value because we're eating the response. This number of columns we don't need because that is a constant, right? Self columns length. So we don't need to pass that in. We do want the UI, right? Or actually, why am I using the UI here? Oh, to set the cursor. Okay. Yeah, part of the we need the UI to set the cursor, right? Clip rectangle. We should just rename that to header area, right? Canvas offset, I kind of feel like that should be baked in. Or maybe not. Maybe not. I'll just leave that the way it is. Made an animated GIF that you could inspect from your 2D MMO. Oh, cool. How many frames is in there? Quite a few. It's still going. Okay, it finally looped. Okay. That didn't copy it. That copied it. So I do save image as, we'll put it on the stage as monsters.gif and run it. By the way, I think some of the GIF files I was playing with off stream exposed a bug in the GIF thing, the formats. Let me show it to you. It's like around, yeah, it's right here. There's a bug here in that encoding is the unsigned integer. So unsigned integer plus unsigned integer is fine, but unsigned integer divided by decimal, right now, it's always up, it's casting the right-hand side to the left-hand side, and it can't cast a double to an integer. So the one thing I could do is add do 0.0 plus, and that would fix it. Because now it would cast out the float and that to float, and then it would all be float. But I think I'm going to add that in there before I try to load your GIF because I'm afraid of it actually breaking. Oh, I never did that reload button, so I have to just run it twice, right? Okay, open stage monsters.gif. Okay, it took longer to parse it. There are 169 frames. You still have that Netscape 2.0 identifier. It's 868 by 607. Okay, and interestingly enough, there is no global color table. That global color, so this one doesn't have a global color table. Instead, each frame has its own local color table. And each frame size is the same as the global size. Where was the oh yeah, delay time. Delay time 3. So it's 3/100ths of a second per frame, right? Only 169, 30 FPS. That's 3/100. So it's 100 over 3. 33.333 FPS. Yeah, that's the problem with GIF is that the delay time is expressed in hundredths of a second. So you can't do 30 FPS exactly, right? Because that's 1 over 3. It's going to be not an integer, and you can only do an integer there. So yeah, I've already discovered a little bit of information I can get back to you that you had 169. Well, the first one, so it's really 168 frames because this frame is an application extension. All the other ones that are all table-based images, right? Oh, no, you have some at the end here. Oh, you actually broke my parser. Okay, you have an extension I didn't expect. Something with made with screen to GIF. So I don't my GUI doesn't actually show errors yet. So I have to run the non-GUI version to see that. Because probably it's either an extension that's beyond the spec or I have an error. Bad extension introducer. So we have an extension 21. Extension introducer. Oh, no, that's correct. 21. Oh, wait. It didn't. Okay, go to line 221. Wait, so it is a violation of the spec. That's 21 decimal, not 21 hex. Right? That last data block. Yeah, that's a bug. Oh, wait, no, it's not. My bad. It's that it didn't know it didn't parse comment extension correctly. All right, so I have a bug in the comment extension. Special purpose block. Oh, did I just not write that? That might be my bad. There's a comment extension label. I think I just didn't fill this in. Comment extension. Yeah, there's supposed to be comment data. Look at that. I never wrote that part. Data subblocks and a block terminator. My bad. Let's fix that. So is it just data subblocks? Is that the only thing I'm missing? Let's try it. Quit and run again. Yep, because we got to the trailer. Okay, thank you, TinSpin. You helped me find a bug in my format. So it's actually there's an extra block at the end. It's a comment extension. that says made with screen to GIF. Yeah, it handles any animated GIFs. How does the bad word moderation work? It's built into Twitch. I don't know. It's not human. I think it just has a database of what it thinks bad words might be. It's called automod. Yeah, so we're actually not parsing anything other than the size of the data blocks. So it just says it's 15 bytes. So this part here, made with screen to GIF, is the comment. So if the first block and the last block are not images, that means you have 166 frames. And if assuming that they're all the same delay time, that means it's 166 times 3 divided by 100. That's how long each loop is. Yeah, I didn't like that word for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, well, thank you, Tinspin. You helped me find another bug in there. We were missing this line. So what happened is it got to what it thought was the end of the comment extension, and then tried to parse the comment as the next block, and it said, "Well, this doesn't make sense." All right, interact with header. See, I wonder if I need to have this X. Oh, this is mutable, so we update the X. Yeah, we have a next X. X equals next X, or header area right. Start dragging, can drag header, map dragging, if we can drag it. Yeah, I remember this stuff. This is actually not bad. Except for maybe when we get to this indentation level. Do I say that that's indented too much? 33 columns? It's like right on the edge. But how can I make this better? This is if we're hovering. If we're hovering over a column header, right? So I could take this and make this a standalone function. It does use self. Hold on, I gotta take a phone call. Here's the kitty. Hello, kitty. You want to say hi to? You want to say hi to Chad? Pretty kitty. Want to say hi? kitty cat was asleep right behind the desk. All right, sorry about that. Yes, Kitty was sleeping right over there. I don't have a camera over there. Yeah, so I was thinking of taking this out as a function. I think it's worth it because it's how indented it is. Um, I'm wondering, will this be smart enough to like refactor this if it's a oh, actually it did it, sort of. Only it did something weird with the match, with it making it a match. Okay, yeah, I think I want to do this manually. So this function should be like is position over column divider. Is over column divider, right? Self, and I don't know what else we'll need. And we're supposed to return a Boolean because any expects a Boolean. And we are given self and then one other value, which means I should probably keep that part in there. And then it's this part really that is taken out. Self dot is column number column. So, and those are usize and immutable reference to a column. Column number is a usize, and then column is a mutable column. I don't know why it's mutable, but it is. That's what it told me right here. Mutable column. So where, yeah, crate should really be super. Okay. So yeah, we need an X, we need a header area. These are all part of the capture, right? That we can borrow, right? How come it doesn't like this? Does this not return a usize? It returns an F32. It's an F32. That's why. Okay, now it's happier. Num columns, that we can pre-compute, or we can compute it on the fly. So that we can put there. Actually, if it's only used once, I'm not going to bother making a name for it. Why is there a position X there? Oh, I see. Um, this is a side effect, this X. So really this is a mutable F32. Okay, this is sort of gross that it has this side effect. Yeah, I don't like this. Maybe try to improve upon this in a second. Hold on. Hold on. So we need a position, right? Borrow it? I think so. Oh, okay. Well, that's a problem. What do I need self for? Columns length and dragging can drag header. Ooh. Okay, so trying to put this into a method of self is bad because of the because we're already borrowing out of columns. Okay, abort. Abort. Go back. Undo. Undo. Undo a lot, apparently. Yep. So we can't do that. I can make, if I just do this part, that might be better. Actually, and then the X, since it's only used internally, could be put in that. Let's see what this gives me. Okay, that's much better. I think I picked the correct surface. So this is more than just asking the question, right? This is also setting the cursor. Oh, wait. I didn't want to pull that part in. Did it just do that for me? Yes. Okay, so it should just be asking a question, is it if it's over? If and then if so, we're going to set the cursor. Right. So this should be is position over column divider. Right? And then this part should be removed out. We remove the if. It goes here. And then here we paste. Okay, and we're passing self, so I don't need num columns. Position should really be first. It should be borrowed. So should canvas offset be borrowed. So should header rect be. Okay. Oh, we didn't use the UI at all. Well, that's right. We didn't use the UI. Okay. That's actually readable now. If we're hovering over it, is it over the column divider? And we don't see the X anymore here. It's just a position with the canvas off. Actually, can I just subtract the canvas offset from it? Header area right. Where do I use this canvas? Okay, that's just what initial X is initialized to. So if I subtracted the canvas offset from both header area and position, I wouldn't need to pass it in, I think. So does it make sense to subtract it from header area? Maybe because the only other place header area is used is inside this other one where we're starting at canvas offset, right? So what if interact with header, this canvas offset is just baked into this, it says clip rect, but it's really header area, right? Header area. Clip rect. Oh, this makes a big assumption that wait, hold on. No, it doesn't. We have a header rect. How is this different from this clip rect? Actually, why don't I debug and see if that ever is different. So let's right here and here, dbg. I want to see if those rectangles are ever different. Actually, this is the wrong one. It's a header rect I want to see. Actually, why don't I just build in clip rect, remove this dbg, and put that there. So if they're always the same, then I don't need to call UI clip rect. I can just use header rect. I just don't know if they're always going to be the same, and they are not the same. So the clip rect is actually much bigger. Huh. We are doing an intersection with it. But maybe this is the wrong rectangle to this. I think this is the wrong rectangle. Shouldn't this be did I break? No, this isn't broken. This is working. But this doesn't make sense to me. This header area, right? Oh, wait. If I use the other rectangle, maybe I didn't need the canvas offset because I could have just used the head. Yeah, this is clip rectangle right now, but maybe it should be header area instead. So let's see what happens if I change that to be header rect. I'd rather call it header area. And then call this header area. And then not pass the canvas offset. Hopefully I don't need it because I can just not use it at all. Start at 0 and not pass it. Not pass it there. Start at 0. And have it just work. That would be awesome. Just don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. Nope. Not working at all. Yeah, they're different rectangles, right? They're different sizes. Well, okay. Of course they're different sizes, but what's not being shown is the what is it called? The canvas offset. Okay, so the canvas offset is the top left of the header area. So what we don't have, I guess, is wait a minute. If this is that, okay. Then I need to subtract the min from the max when I use it. So down here, this header area, It's not right, it's width. Width and width. Dum dum dum. And then over here, it's similarly width, not right. GUI refactoring and GUI code in general, it's tough for me. Okay, it's still wrong. It is off by a little bit, isn't it? It's drawing it correctly though. So it's drawing the rectangle in the right spot. It's just the hover code is broken now. Yeah, and like you see, it's clipping correctly. So it's just the hover over code is wrong. This one's wrong here. I wonder if it's in this function here. No, that's good. Ah, what the heck? Position header area, hover position. Oh, wait. I think this is this we need to subtract the we do need the canvas offset because yeah, when we get this response hover position, it's in units of the canvas. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I do need that canvas offset. Actually, we have it in the header area. Hold on. We have it in the header area. So what I can do is I can say mutable, and I can say position minus equals header area. Actually, I don't even need to do it here. I could do it down here. Or I can just make that a value. Yeah, why don't I just make that pass by value? And then this is position minus header area. Actually, no, not even do it here. Not even do it here. Do it down here. This would just be header area dot left. And then these go back to being right. Yeah. Let's just do it that way. So in other words, they're in window coordinates, not header area coordinates. Yep. And except for the drag, it's broken. So the hover's correct and the drag is broken. The drag is broken. Maybe because when you start dragging, we get this where's the position here? Is X? I think it's in here, right? This X in position. Well, that's yeah, it's here. I need to subtract header area dot left. and then it's correct. Or I have to use this is .x, or I have to use right here. Wait, what's wrong with this? It's not x. So it's min. Okay. Yeah, or I could just use I just do it here. So then actually it's better to do it here because then it's more like what I was doing for here where I initialize it to the left and I compare it to the right. So left and then instead of width it's right again. So it's all coordinate system confusion. It makes me think that I should like make new types so have the coordinate systems be different types, and if I accidentally mix them, I get a compiler error. Shouldn't be able to drag the right edge though, should I? I shouldn't be able to drag that right edge. I don't know if I allowed that before, but it's definitely allowing it now. I don't think it makes sense. Hey there, A squared. How are you doing? New types are fun. If I'm thinking like right there I confused coordinate systems. That wouldn't have happened if each coordinate system had a different type. Hey there, the gel mega. It's the one and the only, the gel mega. So this one's obviously wrong. Because this one should not like allow the last column to be selected. Yeah, it should be false. So what did I do wrong here? It's actually, if I was on within the grab area of the right edge, it might allow it. So yeah, the moment I get like right on top of that, it says you're within the range, I think. So I guess this one doesn't know if it shouldn't even go into here, right? We should have stopped it. Okay, I guess this always allowed dragging the rightmost column because there's no check to see if it's the last column. Is it equal? So it's true. Oh, no, I see you read it wrong. So we're enumerating all the columns. If I don't want to, I think I'm just gonna let this one go. So we'll allow dragging the right header, even though it does nothing when you do that. Okay, but I didn't break anything else, did I? Nope. Having some fun to make cross DLL allocation work. You need to reroute all system allocation to an additional DLL that gets loaded before any allocation will have all allocated memory. That's just like what like address sanitizer does, right? The moment you use crate type equals dilib, standard gets linked dynamically to any lib using it, which then completely ignores custom global allocators. So there's no single point that all allocators go through that you can that you can go and wrap or decorate. Then it should always be statically linked, shouldn't it? Is it? I guess that's a philosophical question, right, A squared? Because in C++ on Microsoft platforms, you can actually choose whether it's linked statically or dynamically. But this is a for Rust question. Is there a Rust reason, or is it just a philosophical like implementation choice? Maybe it's only for bins. Because the moment sees dilib and the dependency change, it goes prefer dynamic. Huh. If you start statically linking things into diloops, you get trouble, right? You get multiply defined symbols, or you have multiple silos where you have the same, where you have a copy of the same globals. You're like kind of asking for trouble when you statically link things into dilibs, right? That should be shared. Does C dilib change it? Dilib is meant to be user FFI. Could be. I need to close my blinds because I don't like the darkness creeping in. The darkness. Can't abide the dark. Let the blinds be lowered. Okay, so I cleaned this up. That looks nice. Let's clean up the area before it. If we're dragging, isn't this always going to be true? When is this ever going to be false? I guess it's possible. So this one was called is position over column divider. This one should be like, shouldn't this one be the same? Can drag header map. What did this do? Can drag header is some. Okay, so this one is different in that it did this additional map. Oh, here we go. It also did the rightmost column check. Wait, the other code did too, though, right? It's so dark, it has been throwing you off. I know you guys can't see the darkness. I got this big light on me, so you don't see the darkness. Yeah, this one has the last column check also. So then there is some redundant code here, and I can maybe clean it up. The only difference is this one does an additional map. And okay, so what do I need out of this map? I need an anchor. That's passed in, right? No, it's not. It's whatever can drag header returns. Okay, so if I have if I turn this to find and it returns that, and then I say that, and this is none. I thought I got that correct there. Option. What did I do wrong? Wait, what? F32, right? Oh, because of the enumerate? So I gotta like map back out the so ignore the column number. Wait, no, it's find map. This all already sort of doing the map for us. Okay, so then this just is if it is some. Right, and then I should be able to reuse that now down up here. So it should just be self dot this. Position is position. Header area is header area, right? And then do this additional map here, right? Oh, it needs a column width. And a column number and a column. Erg, 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 erg. Erg. Okay, well, then we're getting those things out then. Column number column. Sure, we'll just eat it. We'll derive clone and debug while we're at it. So I gotta map it. I gotta map this. There we go. Oh, that's mutable? Oh, crap. Okay, so then not really cloning it then. I'm actually getting a mutable reference out of it. Okay, well then it's getting me a mutable reference out. And I have to be specific about which, so it's like, can I use self there? Lifetimes cannot be used as keyword names. Okay, so it's, I don't know. I don't like A. But I guess that's what we're gonna use. Because I need to say that life, actually, I wonder if I need to say that. Should I see if I can get away with not saying that and see if it figures it out? That would be cool. So yeah, instead of cloning this, we're just returning it out. Sneaky sneak style. So then, yeah, I was afraid of that. Can't I just like move that and then that solves the problem? Yeah, that's what I thought. And we don't need that because that is now in here. Clever. So that's a problem. What was that X? I forget what I forget what this was now. That's the column's old position. I actually don't think I need to subtract that. but I could be wrong. Just see what happens if I delete it. What's NLL stand for? Yeah, I didn't have to specify the lifetime. Okay. Yep, that broke it. Completely broke it. When the moment I started dragging, it disappeared. It vanished. Like, poof, it's gone. Okay. Then what did I do wrong here? Let's DBG that and see. Non-lexical lifetimes. Lifetimes can end scope early instead of lasting for the end of the block always. Oh, you mean when I did this first and then we were done with columns so we would be able to borrow from self again? Yeah. Thank God for that. Okay. 968. Oh, it needs to subtract back out the let's make sure new we'll just debug the whole thing. BG there, and then I don't need this. Pretty sure it has to do with the coordinate system again. Used to not be a thing. You used to have to do awful things to get it to compile. Well, I was about to do the awful thing, right? It's about to mark it up, to mark up which lifetime I cared about. Column number 0. New width. Yeah, so that new width is not taking the header area left into consideration. It's a different core. I need to do a coordinate system conversion here. This position has the header area taken into account. So this has to actually minus header area left plus anchor. Coordinate system change again. The marking lifetime on the method is a different thing, and to be honest, you're surprised that's allowed? Hey, look, I fixed it. So that anchor there is how far to the left of the divider I clicked. So here I clicked on the right. If I click on the left, it's a positive number. If I click right in the middle, it should be close to 0. All right, I think it's good now. So yeah, I need the parentheses though. What I was about to do is say that because I'm like, maybe it needs to know that that's the reference that gets borrowed down here. So that works. If instead I said that it was the lifetime of this, we'd have problems. You'd be like, wait a minute, it doesn't live long enough. It's like, yeah, but I guess it reasoned it out on its own. So we never use number columns. That's nice. Okay, this looks already much nicer. So we reused code. When we're hovering, we don't care because we're not actually dragging and changing things. But if we are dragging, then we get back out all the information that we use to update the column right here. Actually, why am I bothering? I know why I'm bothering to do this calculation here, because so that we don't need to keep the old position and anchor. Actually, the anchor we still keep. So actually, there is no reason for me to do this here, is there? Can't I just move this into here? And I don't need that. There we go. One less thing to put in that intermediate tuple. Do I need column number? Yes. So we need to remember the column number and the anchor, and we're updating the column, and I didn't want to update it inside this map because we had to do this anyway. So this made the most sense to me. Actually, this looks weird. Why am I changing the order of things? Why don't I just fix it so that this is anchor, column number, and column, and they don't need the map. There we go. Even better. Yeah, I realized that A squared just now. I'm like, that map is useless now because... So I used to think, for some reason, or maybe I didn't even like realize it at the time, I had this calculation done inside of the map. But now I realize that I don't need to do it inside the map. I can do it outside the map. Should turn on lifetime elision hints in RA for a second. How do you do that? How do you turn on lifetime elision hints? I guess that would be in the settings. Always. Oh, that's cool. Should I just keep this on always? Now we can see that we have 3 lifetimes. Self, position, and header area. But it's only showing up here. It's not actually showing up anywhere else. Is there a setting that makes the names better? Parameter names? That one? Even better. I like it. So, my friends, this is why A squared has so many points and has now widened their lead. Because A squared's always coming up with really cool ideas on what I should be doing. You personally use skip trivial? If a return type is involved? Well, if a return type is not involved, would it still be useful to see them sometimes? It doesn't bug me, and it's giving, I like having lots of information on the inlay hints, so I think I'm gonna keep it. I think I'm gonna keep it. It skips things when there's only one lifetime. So only one lifetime would be like, not that one, but like, actually a lot of these have 2 lifetimes. Something with 1 lifetime. Here's, no, that one has 2 also. All of these have 2 lifetimes. Look at that. They all have 2 lifetimes. But I know what you mean. Oh, here's one with only 1. So yeah, there's no reason to show self, right? That's okay. I think I'm gonna keep it on because it's educational, right? Okay, so interact with header is pretty good now, right? If there's some thing, then we're doing the drag. Otherwise, we're not dragging. If we're just hovering, this looks really awesome to me. I like it. This, yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, moving on then. Draw and interact with header. I wanted to like refactor all of this to be draw header. In fact, what is interact with header. It needs a response. So we get the response right here. So this is the non-response stuff, right? Header area. Yeah, so this part could be extracted out as draw header function. Draw header. Okay, I don't need row height because we can compute that separately. Look at that. It's now readable. So we get a row height because we get the available size and we reduce it to one row, and then we allocate that much space, and then we draw it, and then we interact with it. I like it. Readable code. Readable code is good. That's the whole point of today's stream, right? Refactoring because readable code is way better than ugly code. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, I can't see it. That would be such a cool picture if there wasn't something blocking it. I'm trying to read this guy's shirt and I can't see what it says. Oh well. So you used to let and mute being different color in your editor? Well, now you're making me think. I just think all my keywords, well, actually that's not true. Some of the keywords are different colors. So what color would you suggest I make mute? Actually, mute should be like bright red, shouldn't it? Is that in the theme or is that in the settings? Reborrow hints shows whether inlay hints for compiler inserted reborrows. Ooh, the settings deprecate in favor of Rust Analyzer. Inlay hints, expression adjusted hints. Expression adjustment hints. Those are already enabled. Oh no, they're never enabled. Adjustment hints are the chaos that you showed me once. Okay, let's see what it looks like. I'm intrigued now. Oh, like this stuff? The reborrows that it's doing? Actually, I kind of like seeing that because, yeah, it had to dereference that to get a reference to the label. Why don't we keep that on? Yeah, isn't that like, that's not too much chaos. That's actually useful to see. I'm gonna keep it on. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You make it nice and red. I think I want to make mine red also. You can also set it to postfix mode. What's postfix mode? We're gonna keep that always on. Postfix? What are we talking about with postfix? Yeah, that's enabled. Oh, this one? I see. I like prefix because postfix is that like the older version of the language? I can have it prefer prefix. Okay, I gotta answer another phone call. Okay. That phone calls to let me know that food is on the way. So I gotta like wrap things up, but I'm wondering where is it it's a theme, right? It's in your color theme, Meyukai Mono. So I don't know how these like how the themes work in the settings. I don't think it's in settings, right? It's in something to do with the theme. Color theme. Right, but can I adjust the theme? I can pick a different one, it looks like. Themes are like editor plugins you get, so I would have to get a new one then, right? I can't like adjust, I can't make a slight adjustment. I don't want to do that, I'll blind everybody. You should be able to adjust it, that's what I was hoping. So that manages the extension. Oh, here we go. I can set it. Yeah, maybe I do this next time or I look into it. Hey there, Acorn 1010. How are you? I'm just refactoring my graphical user interface for this tool I'm working on. I hope you had a great stream. Thank you for the raid. So I've been working on this tool that can parse data. So and you can like click on things and it says what it means. So like, or you can open things up and say, oh, the width is that, where is that stored? Right there. How about the local color table for the first image? There it is, right? Here's the wait, right. The graphical control extension has the here's the where we store the amount of time to show this frame of an animated GIF, right? And it's all described in a custom language I invented. So it's kind of like a mix between structural and functional. So it's structural because you describe the parts of the input like statements, like you would in a struct. But you can have like loops and you can have conditionals. And when you have a structural part in a loop, it makes it into an array. That's why data is actually an array of 168 instances of data, because every time we loop, we make another data. Why did I think I was on Windows before? Tobs on Twitch, but that was like 2 years ago. The array could be big fast? Yep, could. It could indeed. There are 168 of them here. But yeah, I'm just working today to refactor the code that draws this data tree on the right. I already did the hex editor on the left. So that's all nice and refactored, and doing the data tree on the right, refactoring the code behind it. Not that far back. Is this witchcraft? It's code sorcery. Nah, it's really just matching data structures. So this gets compiled into a data structure. It's like a tree. And then we do an in-order traversal with that tree and these bytes, right? So when it starts, it says, oh, well, the first bytes must be the header, and the first part of the header is the signature. So header, signature, and this is a built-in type called string, and this is a bound that says up to 24 bits. So string will consume all of those 24 bits and name it signature. So that's what you get here. Same thing for version. And then you go, the next field is this logical screen width, which has a least significant byte and a most significant byte. So the way that works is it says, we're done with header. Next thing is logical screen, descriptor, width, and that's that LEUI16, which is way down here. So unsigned integer 8 bits long, unsigned integer 8 bits long, and take them and assemble them a certain way. And that's how you get the 868. By taking 3, shifting it left 8 bits, and adding 100 to it. Yeah, the point of this tool is to study data, and maybe if I get it matured to a point, you can also like modify the data either on the left or the right, and it would synchronize. So you could totally break the file by like stepping on a byte, or you could just adjust the data inside. I could make this nets hell or something, and it would still parse correctly because you could just replace the characters and it doesn't break the structure. Or I could like delete a block here, and graphic block control block 1 would become 0. Deleting this would be just deleting these bytes, right? So right now it's just studying data. It's parsing data. It's a decoder only. It's not an encoder, but it's actually pretty useful for a lot of context. So this is looking at an image file, right? Another tool you might have seen before, Wireshark, does the same thing, but it's for network packets. And one thing I could do for fun is make my own version of Wireshark. All I would need to do is be able to capture packets, and then I need to write the format for what the packets mean. And then it would, and then maybe rearrange the windows to look more like Wireshark, but yeah. Hey, George Daniel Tinnix, how are you? Yeah, so I'm refactoring. There's some bugs in here. You see that little visual artifact, that little green triangle there? That shouldn't be there. And I'm not sure where that's coming from, but this is all based in Rust now, based on eGUI. So I didn't write eGUI. It's like a pure Rust equivalent of IMGUI, an immediate mode GUI. And so when you see me actually working on the code here, like this UI type is from eGUI, and immediate mode says we're not declaring the structure of the UI, we're just saying draw it now. So it's like set the clipping rectangle, right? And then draw a rectangle, and then draw some text. And you say draw a rectangle here, draw some text here, set the clipping rectangle. And you can nest things, but otherwise there's not a whole lot of declarative structure to it. It's just like everything is drawn immediately whenever you call draw. And the code looked a lot more messy before, but now I've been cleaning it up. So draw fits into one screen with the header portion first, and then the body, the main area. It gets a little weird because when you request to allocate some space in a region on the display, you get two things back. You get a rectangle, and then you get a response, and that response is what you use to get all the interactions like clicking and hovering and dragging. So for our main area, we don't use it. That's why there's an underscore in front. But it nests. So inside the main area, we allocate more space, and here we do use the response, and that's how we like this click and hover position. I think I use them way down later, and I say, well, if you clicked on it, then we figure out what row you clicked on, and we send that back out to the app. And if you didn't click on anything, or you weren't clicking at all, then you didn't. So yeah, that's where we are. And I got to end the stream soon because food is on the way. So I did miss it, that Omega. To adjust the colors for seeing them, check out editor token color customizations. Would that be in the settings? Color Ooh, here we go. So I'd probably want to modify. Which one am I using? Dark Modern? I think I am, right? Theme. Yes. Default Dark Modern. So then how do I... Oh, here we go. Can I do like Rust Analyzer? It would be something mutable, right? We'll see here. I just don't know what color we want. There's like too many things. Be something with Rust in the name, right? Have you ever had problems with Rust Analyzer locking files needed for cargo build? No, but sometimes running the check or Clippy takes a long time. I have it run the check on save. Where do I say that here? Well, this is what I run. I run cargo Clippy, right? Save. Well, I format on save. I guess it just always runs the check on save. I think it just always runs a check on save. So sometimes when I save, depending on what I changed, it can take a long time to run the check. And then, well, if it's still running that by the time I want to actually build, yeah, it does keep it locked and I have to wait. Use the same build directory you can't run at the same time. Yep. You know what I'll do, Omega? I'll take your link because I'm not going to be able to get to it today. I will figure this out because we want our MUTs to be read, don't we? To do, and I'm going to say that that's just the second link, the Omega. You also have wanted me to check out PBR book. Copy link. Did I check out PBR book? Physically based rendering? I haven't checked it out yet. It's still on my list. Let me give the Omega a few useless internet points. That was me typing enter by mistake. Let's give you a couple useless internet points. All right, we're not going to figure this out quite yet, but I'll leave that empty so that later we can go do that. Because I would really like for this keyword to show up in red, and we'll figure it out later. I'm not going to have enough time because I got to end the stream soon, but is there something quick I can do to draw main area so it's not so awful? I think this is going to take a bit of... I need to have some dedicated time to actually do this. Oh, I can do this part, though. This was just like in Hex Editor, right? I just want to name it consistently. So what did I name it there? I named it interpret response. So let's also call this one the refactor into a function. We call it interpret response. Okay. Why do I need the canvas offset? On click in rows. Oh, because we get the position from the response. Yeah. And that was the same in the hex editor? Yes, sort of. Well, actually, there we didn't use the... Oh, there I did a map and removed it. Good idea, past Raimu. I'm glad past Raimu had that idea. Oh, I see. I pulled it straight out because I had it multiply in there. Well, let's leave it in there. Because it's just a trade-off between passing in the position or passing in the canvas offset. Right? We still have to pass in the response. But we did refactor a bunch of code down to one line. So that's cool. Yeah, this huge section here, whenever we get to an indent level that's insane, like row 49, that tells you something's wrong. Yeah, this is food's on the way, so I need to stop this soon. I know, it's crazy. 12 indents. Is it 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It is 12. Anything under 50 indent is lazy. Well, there are two problems that heavy indenting indicates. One is that your function is too large. Another is that it's too vertical, right? Instead of doing like everything at once, maybe split it into 3 different things that we do separately. Yeah, anyway, I gotta go because food's here. You might have heard the dog barking. Announcing the arrival of food. So let's see. Let's go watch Jitspo. You get yelled at by some Unix devs still using 80 by 50 terminals. I mean, mine's 80 by 30. No, 80 by 25. See, I don't have 50 rows. I only got 25. Yep. Don't feel obligated to watch Jitspo. It's something completely different. He's working on game dev, I think. But I will be back, I don't know, either later tonight or tomorrow. I hope you enjoy his stream, and thank you for everyone who watched, and thank you for the raid, and I will see you guys later. Bye.